Today is October 29th. It's the 303rd day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Born on this day in 1942, painter and TV star Bob Ross. Ross is born in Daytona Beach, Florida. After dropping out of school in his teens, he enlists in the Air Force and serves as a medical records technician at a base in Alaska. While stationed outside Fairbanks, he discovers the art of oil painting at the United Service Organizations Club. And he is inspired by the expansive landscape of the North. Trees, mountains, snow, rivers, all elements which will feature in his artwork for the rest of his life. Ross studies with William Alexander, a German oil painter living in Canada, from whom he learns the technique known as wet on wet, applying oil paints atop one another without waiting for the paint to dry, allowing the artist to complete a painting in a short amount of time. Ross begins churning out paintings quickly to sell and make some extra cash on the side, and he begins teaching the technique to friends and acquaintances. When he retires from the Air Force, he focuses full-time on painting, since he's, at that point, already making more money at it than he ever made in the Air Force. And he continues teaching, holding classes in art stores and shopping malls. Those classes become the basis for a TV show, The Joy of Painting, which premieres on PBS in 1983 and runs for 11 years. The TV show makes Bob Ross a celebrity, and many years later, an internet sensation. Millions of viewers tune in to watch Bob Ross as he paints a new painting each week, starting with a blank canvas, filling in the background and adding layer upon layer, until a completed landscape is realized, all in 25 minutes. He uses a knife to create a tree trunk in a single stroke and a large brush to give it leaves with a couple dabs of color. And in just a matter of seconds, he's enhanced the foreground with a happy little tree, as he calls them. Throughout the program, he shares tips and insights about how he's doing what he's doing. Sometimes he mentions a specific technique, and other times it's just general life advice that he applies to his art. Ross becomes known not only for his instruction, but also for his soothing disposition, his gentle humor and placid delivery, and for his hair, that perfectly coiffed afro that's colored a mix of burnt amber and Van Dyke brown, a permed aura that envelops his smiling face and glows against the all-black Charlie Rose-style Endless Void studio backdrop. But Bob Ross hates the perm. It's uncomfortable, and he only got it years before because it was cheaper than constantly getting his hair cut. But the look becomes his brand, so he's stuck with it. But for as much as his audience comes to know him by his hairdo, few ever notice in all the years that he is missing a finger, his left index finger, which gets lopped off with a saw in a woodworking accident when he's young. Few ever notice, even though it's right there in every close-up. 3 fingers and a thumb, right there in the center of the screen every time they cut to his palette, as he loads his brush with some sap green with a touch of magic white to apply some happy little leaves out there in the background. Bob Ross hosts The Joy of Painting for 11 years until he ends the show in 1994 to focus on his health, having been diagnosed with lymphoma a few years earlier. He passes away 1 year later in 1995 at the age of 52. For most of the 20 years Bob Ross serves in the Air Force, he's a sergeant, as he describes it, the guy who screams at you for being late, screams at you for not making your bed. After he retires, Bob Ross, born on this day in 1942, decides he will never be that way again if he can help it. Discussing his show, The Joy of Painting, he says, quote, "I don't intimidate anyone. Instead, I try to get people to believe in themselves. I tell people, you can do this. And they write back and say, you were right, I can do this. And now I believe I can do anything.
Okay, let's put some happy little leaves on here real quick. Just let them float around. Very quiet, soft. And don't kill all your background with them. Leave them loose and airy. Look at that. Just let them play and have fun. Put some up in here. Let your imagination be your guide now. Just wherever you think they should be. I think sometimes we work too hard at painting. Painting should always be fun. It should make you happy. That's when you're truly an artist.
There are 63 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. If you want more Bob Ross, go to bobross.com or just Google Bob Ross and treat yourself to a landscape meditation. So if you're still listening,
next week we'll be doing a black canvas. So have your canvas ready. You can purchase one at your local art store or paint your own with a flat back acrylic.
Talk to you tomorrow.